Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, I hope you're all doing well. Pay attention, big shock of titans between on one side Juventus Football Club and the other side the Partenopei, the club of Aurelio De Laurentiis, the club that will be coached by Antonio Conte. And when you hear the name Antonio Conte, of course you know that it will be a big battle on the field between Juventus and Napoli. But when you hear the name of Manna, that is now already the sporting director of Napoli, well, it can already start now with a big fight on the transfer market. Already today, big fight between Juventus and the Partenopei. Pay attention, we'll also speak about Mercato in today's video, especially the midfield, with an intriguing name that we didn't mention yet on the channel. And then, of course, if yesterday I already made a video about it, Douglas Luiz, and I told you I'm not doing any clickbait, there is some part of truth. Today we have even more details, even more things that are telling us, Beppe, Juventini, it is possible. Maximum of like if you didn't yet, please continue to subscribe to the channel. You did a fantastic job in the month of May. What do you believe? That we will stop now? And no, we continue. Because if we reach altogether 30,000 Juventini on this channel, and thank you for all the fantastic, beautiful message. I read all of them. And as well, I put a maximum of like under your comments. Some of them I even answered. Thank you. But now we need to go to the next step. My next dream, you know it, it's being able to fill the Juventus Allianz Stadium with more than 41,000, but let's go step by step. Let me know, maybe with a prediction, how many Juventini can we have here at the end of the month of June, on the 30th of June. Let's go with a prediction, because now we start with Tutto Sport, that is speaking about the topic of the video, Juve-Napoli battle. Juventus will fight against their past, and we see in that picture Cristiano Giuntoli and Thiago Motta, not Ti amo Motta. Hey guys, Ti amo Motta. Mamma mia, attenzione. Oh, I love that. I love that. Ti amo Motta. That's a beautiful one. Well, Thiago Motta, and now it's difficult to continue. And on the other side, Manna and Antonio Conte. Crazy. Guys, we are fighting against our past. You know it, a few months ago, probably 1 year ago, Aurelio De Laurentiis said, if I knew up front that Cristiano Giuntoli was that much of a Juventino, well, never I would have hired him. Never I would have kept him so long at Juventus. And not because he's a Juventino. Well, what is he doing? He's going with Manna, Juventino, tattoo on his arm of Juve, and Antonio Conte. More Juventino than Antonio Conte, I don't know. Of course, he coached Inter. Of course, whatever professional career as a coach. But we know it, as a kid, as a player, as a captain, as a coach, Antonio Conte has always been a Juventino. And by the way, backstage story, Antonio Conte has done everything after Tottenham, after understanding and regretting and understanding that it was a mistake to leave Juventus to come back to Juve, even staying 1 year free without coaching any team, waiting for the call of Juventus, a call that never arrived. Juventus really wanted to cut with the past. Juventus wanted to close a chapter and starting with a change, a new change without backstage stories, without archive stories. We start with fresh new faces, that is Thiago Motta, where we really believe in. So at a certain moment, Antonio Conte, well, he was a bit bored of waiting. He could have gone possibly to Milan, didn't happen. So he's going to Napoli, and guys, a Napoli without any European competition. A Napoli that has been a disaster last year. How much did they end? I don't know. I believe 10th, 11th. They are out of every competition. Record of the worst title defender ever. Well, this is for Antonio Conte an ideal situation. Obviously, it is ideal. We know Antonio Conte, when he has one competition only to compete for, an entire week to prepare it, when he will come also speaking to the guys, telling them, you see what you did last season? It was a shame. Taking these articles of the papers, putting them on the front, taking the bottles, throwing them at them. We know it, the technique Antonio Conte, that most of the time works for 2 years. But guys, he starts. So we need really to pay attention. It's not over, because there is a battle between Juve and Napoli also on the market, with Manna that is there for his very first big job. Sporting director, pay attention, I have a call. Okay, we go back to Manna in a second, but first let me tell you who called me. Actually, it was a subscriber of the channel or someone that is following me on social media. I don't know how he got my number. And it's true that a lot of time people are sending me request messages on direct message, Instagram, Telegram. They're asking, Beppe, can you say, I don't know, birthday wishes? Can you do this for us? And I do it with all the pleasure in the world. But now, someone that has my number, I don't know how he got it, calling me, I was really intrigued. So I said, how can I help you? Is there something important? Do you need my help? And the question was, the question was, Beppe, Chiesa or Vlahovic? No, with all the respect, guys, Chiesa or Vlahovic, I can't answer the phone for 30,000 people. So if you have my number, please don't call me for these kind of things. Thank you for that. We go back to Manna. I told you, Antonio Conte, battle on the field. Manna already started. Manna, Juventino. Your Manna that is looking for a player that is in common with Juventus target, because they are looking both for Samardzic. They are looking for Samardzic. Because, of course, Manna, one of his first tasks will be to replace Zielinski that will go to Inter. And they checked, they found Samardzic a big player. We know that he has been followed, probably also by Manna when he was at Juventus. So Samardzic, pay attention there. That can be a big one. Other big fight on the market, Hermoso, another big name, and that's the hot name of the moment, is Di Lorenzo. At the moment, there is that big fight between Di Lorenzo, Napoli, between the agent of Di Lorenzo and Aurelio De Laurentiis. Of course, you have now a new manager, you have a new coach, and they will try to keep Di Lorenzo. At the moment, the agent is saying, no, we don't want. On the other side, Aurelio De Laurentiis is confirming he's not for sale. He has a contract, he's not for sale. Guys, I would love Di Lorenzo, really a lot. But if we need to start with these kinds of battle for Di Lorenzo, is it worth it? I believe he would be perfect for Thiago Motta, but seriously, perfect. But these battles with De Laurentiis, we know it, the ego of De Laurentiis, he will do everything. Guys, give up immediately and find another one. I would love him. Disaster. So closing about Napoli topic, and then we can focus fully on the midfielders of Juve. The question, guys, are you fearing that Napoli? Where do you think they can go in Serie A? Can they win again 2 years later? Yes or no? Let me know. According to me, a lot will depend about what player they can keep in their team. Because we know it. There are some sources like Gazzetta dello Sport saying Paris Saint-Germain is on Kvaratskhelia. They made an offer. He already accepted it. While Napoli, they don't want to let him go. On the other side, Corriere dello Sport, Kvaratskhelia is staying. That's the first big one of Antonio Conte. So we don't know if he will stay, if he will not stay. If he stays, will he be motivated enough? Well, I believe that a lot will depend on the motivations of the players that will stay at Napoli. Going to Juventus Football Club. Yesterday I told you about Douglas Luiz. I told you, according to me, cheaper than Cope Manners, complete player that I really believe in, that really I want to see at Juventus. Fantastic midfielder. Well, yesterday I gave you all the details. Go back to the video of yesterday if you want them. But what can I tell more about that situation? Because Gazzetta and a lot of other journalists, they are starting. The thing is that Aston Villa, they need to respect the financial fair play. In Premier League, you know that they are quite harsh on that one. They could potentially risk some penalties in terms of points. It happened. Nottingham Forest, for example, you know it. So they are really scared. They need to respect that, and they need to sell players before the end of June. And that's why it's another piece of that puzzle that is going direction Juve. Monchi went to Juventus. He was the first one saying, we have an interest in Weston McKennie. These were the initial talks. We also have an interest about Solé, probably even more Solé than Weston McKennie. The price of Juventus, if you want both of them, 65 million euro. That's the price, 65 million euro. Then, if you want to go towards Solé only, that's 35 million euro cash immediately. Bam, bam, you give it, it's yours, if you want to, of course. You want McKennie only? We can discuss between 22, 25 million euro, boom, boom, cash on the table. If you want both, 65. And then we can discuss. Of course, you can decrease that price if you have an interesting player for us. Douglas Luiz. That's the name. That's the name. To respect these parameters of selling a big player, they need to, so that they are having some profit and they can invest in new players. Douglas Luiz is a fantastic player. And Emery, I tell you, Emery, that knows Serie A really well, Monchi knows Serie A really well. They have already, since long, an interest for both players, Solé and McKennie. I don't know if it will happen at the end, yes or no, but that could be, according to me, a good one. Another one, we know it will happen in these days. Adrien Rabiot, at the moment, what is going in terms of news, that Thiago Motta convinced Adrien Rabiot to stay. Now, of course, the last details need to be there. It will be imminent from one day to another. We will know the future of Adrien Rabiot, but there is a new idea. And I don't know if you will be happy about it, yes or no. Guendouzi from Lazio could be an idea. Appreciated by Giuntoli, appreciated by Thiago Motta, appreciated by myself. I really like the player. Then I don't know if it's a Juve player. That's my big question, my big fear. I really love watching Guendouzi when he was playing at Marseille. When this season he came to Lazio, I said pay attention to that guy because he's really, really, really good. So it's a really good player, Guendouzi, but he has a really big problem. It is Igor Tudor. Probably one of the reasons why he didn't perform that well that last season at Marseille, why he left Marseille, why Tudor was there. He was doing quite well in Serie A with Maurizio Sarri. Tudor is back and they have a problem. We are not even sure if Tudor will continue with Lazio because Tudor is someone like that. He's volcanico, he has that power, that grinta, and he doesn't want him. And he's pissed off with Lotito because he wanted Kamada to stay. He really believed in him. Kamada will not be there at Lazio next season, so they have a problem. Now, Guendouzi could be an idea. They took him for 80 million euro if Lotito doesn't want to let him go. But for 30 million euro, he could let him go to another team. Is that the player that we want? Again, I like him, but that's the player that 5 games in a row, he will be the phenomenal. And then for 10 games, he disappears. Again, I like, but that's not the player that I want. That's not the player that I want. One that I want to come back at big level is Locatelli. Yesterday I was so sad when I heard Spalletti saying that Locatelli is a good player, a fantastic, serious player, a big professional player, that the doors will be open again for Italy in the future, but he is too conservative. When I hear too conservative, can I be totally against the words of Spalletti? No, because partially it's true. But I'm really sad about it. How many times did I tell you? Locatelli is the player that has one huge, big skill. He's absolutely not selfish. He's a player that is loving Juventus so much that he will sacrifice himself in the name of the team. Well, this is the problem of Locatelli. He sacrificed himself too much for the good of Juventus, to try to do what the coach was asking him, to try to help a defense that had a lot of difficulties, to try to keep a team with clean sheets or with defensive support, sacrificing one of his best skills, building, changing side, offensive capacities. And because he sacrificed himself, well, he will not go to the Euro. I'm so sad about it. We can discuss, Spalletti is right or is not right. There is just one thing that is annoying me. The last time that he has been called up for Italy, Locatelli played a game that was 5-star. That was stellar. If you don't believe me, go and watch highlights and skill of Locatelli at the last game that he played with Spalletti. That was incredible. So I'm a bit sad for that, but I can understand that. We can discuss. I can understand it's just a pity because I really like Locatelli, but I can understand it. But I hope that can be the motivation for him to not accept anymore that much, to only sacrifice himself. Sacrificing, yes, but he needs also to show. And that season will be the season where Locatelli needs to show. To a new coach, to a new way of playing. And hopefully he can do well. Super happy for Fagioli. Beautiful words this time by Spalletti for our young Niccolò, where he said, it's not a reward because of what happened off the field. Niccolò deserves to be here. He can do with the ball between his feet. Incredible thing, fantastic vision. He can see things that people or other players can't see. Guys, beautiful words, and I totally agree. And the sense of revenge also of Niccolò Fagioli, it's a fantastic thing to have him there with the team. We finish with the youth news. Pay attention. Riscatto Alcaraz. There is that possibility, that idea to continue with Alcaraz to Juventus on loan only for 1 year more year, because Juventus, they saw the potential of that kid that didn't receive a lot of chances since January, also because of that injury. But anyway, so that can be a player that could possibly be extended on a loan. A loan, of course, that you will need to pay, because there is that idea that he can play a bit a la Ferguson. That was the big target in the midfield, the first target, the big name of the midfield of Thiago Motta, Ferguson from Bologna. Well, Alcaraz, they see the potential in it. Honestly, I don't know. I will not regret if he leaves. If he's there in the team, I will be curious. Much more than that, no. But there is one that I will be extremely curious about. It is Adzic. Adzic just said goodbye to his team. It's over. It's official now. Just 18 in the month of May, if I'm not wrong. So he will come to Juve. There is already a plan. The plan is already there. A plan starting with the next gen. And then, of course, depending how much he's doing well, knowing the language, knowing the Serie C, because it's not Serie A, but Serie C, Italian football culture, way of playing, DNA Juve culture, playing a few games, and then let's see if he can join the first team or not. But Adzic is a fantastic talent. In Montenegro, they are saying the best thing that happened since Jovetic 15 years ago. Can you imagine? Now they are speaking really well about him. I'm really curious. The plan is already there. Now the question is, who will coach him? Will it be Brambilla, the actual coach of Next Gen? Will it be Paolo Montero, that has the possibility, if Brambilla goes to a Serie B team, to be promoted? Or will it even be Magnanelli? We all spoke in the beginning of the season about Magnanelli. Well, Magnanelli stays at Juve. He's not part officially of the team of Max Allegri. He's from Juventus. He has 1 more year of contract. He did really well. He convinced a lot of people that there is potential in that coach. Or he could potentially go to the next gen. Who knows? Or he could go to the under-19 with a promotion from Montero to the next gen. Beautiful. I really like Magnanelli. We spoke a lot about him in the beginning of the season. Guys, let's see what will happen there. Under-19, next gen, first team. We have a lot of things to speak about. Sorry for this video. Guys, I have been interrupted by that phone call. I lost a bit the pace. I'm sorry for that. But anyway, it is what it is. It's the reality. Grazie, forza, Juve.